I'll talk to Ellie about
Sorry, I didn't start the recording, but that's fine. I've
that. All
started
good. Yeah,
now.
I'll talk to Ellie about that, and we'll get that in works.
Yeah, that'll be fine. Yes, that'll be
Did
fine.
did you have you checked on the property in Oklahoma?
I haven't done any more on that. I will get on with that. Yeah.
Oh,
Um,
that's no hurry. And if there's anything I can do, I'd be more than happy to do whatever I can do. Look and
yeah.
like I said, I spoke with that broker. He hasn't called me back yet, so I'm
Okay.
waiting for him to call back. And he was
Yeah,
wanting to set up a meeting with all of us, me, you, and his partner, and myself.
that'd be good. Yeah, I'd like that. With the Oklahoma, of course, I know nothing about Oklahoma, so it needs to be in line with the teaching. We need to be able to look at the end of week one. It talks about the market and analyzing it. Is it a growth market? We need to look at um, the demographics,
Yeah,
and things like that. So before we go further on that, I think I'll do that.
do
And
some market
also, it's
research.
only a 48 unit, so it might be a bit on the small side,
Yeah,
as I say, that one will be easy to um, buy. It's we need to find out first though who would manage it.
yeah.
Would those numbers work and find out how much. So there's a lot of background work to do on that because it's a more remote market. So
Right.
yeah,
Yeah. And that's what I've been thinking with the excavation company. If they're and I think I'd like to do the managing role. There's four roles in the business. Your capital raiser, acquisitions, and asset managers that manage the property managers, and then your sponsor. I think that would be a good spot for me because, like I said, I'm all for working with the acquisition side. I like the acquisition side, and I think that's something we should do together.
mm,
But that might be a position that I can fill, especially if it's close to my general area,
yeah,
and we could do that. I'd be happy to be the manager over one of them. Obviously, we would communicate constantly on that,
yeah,
but
yeah,
I think that would be that's what value I can bring. I can find and put deals together and I
yeah,
could probably, manage them
yeah, yeah,
close, not
yeah.
too far away, not yet.
Yeah, we're all playing with the ball. We're all doing the capital raise and things like that. So I think over time I'll be moving more into capital raise.
Will you?
Um, Probably. I mean, I like the acquisitions manager because you get 5% of
Right.
closing. I like that bit,
And that's what I was thinking when I described, yet I think it was yesterday. Yeah, it was. And my days I run crazy, and we go from 7 in the morning till 8:39 at night every day. It's
Right.
craziness. But
Yeah.
But no, that's what I was saying. If we set one up, especially on these first couple properties, while we're still doing different roles until we decide what role we want to play in the business, we
Mm,
can both team up. If you bring all the deal together and you put everything together, you take the acquisition on that one.
mm,
But if we work together on them and put them together, and get that, then we can do 2.5 each. And then
yeah.
still, like if you bring the capital, still get that percent of the deal from raising capital. And
Yeah.
then if I manage, get that percent of the LP for managing.
That's fair, isn't it? Yeah,
Yeah,
because you might find a deal and you run with it. Yeah, and
that
in,
sounds
in
yeah,
a way, we should both try and do that because obviously, we're going to move twice as fast, right?
exactly. Yes,
You
yeah.
know, so yeah, so that'll be good and support each other with knowledge and things like that. We'll find each other's weaknesses and strengths and as we go along.
And my weakness, my number one weakness, I'll tell you openly, is my time is because with the construction business because I'm at the point where I have to work in the business until 4 o'clock 5 o'clock every day. So from
Right,
6:30 or 7 till 5, I've got to be boots on the ground. Which
right.
now I take phone calls all day, and that's how I just quick phone call whatever. So if it's anything like that I can. But the good news is by the end of the year the business plan that we put together, I should be out of a day to day role to where
Right.
all I have to do is just manage crews and
Mm.
I can, and then I'd have a lot more time to asset manage and put deals together and raise capital, all that good stuff. So
Yeah, very good. Yeah.
that we've
Did
got
you
that
want to
scheduled.
share? Did you want to share your goals with me so I get an idea of where you'd
Yeah.
like to head?
So on the excavation company, I've got a couple goals planned out. By December, well, by January actually. By January, we want to have $50,000 sitting in a business savings account and have 50 or yes, have 50 in the savings and have 20 to 30 in a business checking. And
Okay.
have those two just hanging out. And that way we can start taking outside investment, because that you have to get to that point before you can start taking outside investment most of the time,
Okay.
unless it's like an angel investor or something of that nature.
Mm.
So that's the main goal on that. And then our goal is to have one crew that is a 2 or 3 man crew, probably a 2 man crew, operating by January, to where all I have to do is say, hey, this is the job, this is where we're going, this is what we need, all that good stuff. Get that put in place, and then by March, around that time, we should be running 2 crews, and all I should be doing is managing and doing
Oh,
business
very
development.
good. Mm.
That's the goal.
Yeah. All right. Well, that's a good goal. Yeah,
We've got to put our foot down. That's for sure. We've got
that's right.
the cruise is gonna. That's what's the hardest part, is finding people to put in,
Yeah,
especially in this industry.
right.
It's a
And,
brutal industry.
it is, but it gives you the everyday money, doesn't it? So that's the important part.
That's what
Yeah.
funds this. Yes,
Yes. Yeah.
and
That's right.
that's the goal. If we can get, that's the beauty of this. Once we get this going, and we've got our acquisition fee, and like similar to Eric, our first deal, to me, it's not going to get me. I'm not in the red, but it's going to get me ahead a little bit more. You know what I mean? And then once we get that first deal down, we can get in with multifamily. I can take some. I'm going to take some of that money and invest it into the construction company, because then I can almost get to a point to where I'm not going to have a whole big bunch of uh, not necessarily responsibility or accountability, but just day to day stuff. I'll
Yeah.
still, be running the company. I just won't have to be out there every day, which
Right.
will give me time to go and do this, and we can grow this as big as we want it.
Yeah.
And I'd like to grow it pretty big.
Yeah. Me too. Yeah. And the good news with this is, it doesn't take all day to do this. The networking for me takes a large part of the time.
Right.
But the research doesn't take long,
Yeah.
not these days with Chat GPT and you've got Google and I mean he comes up with all these websites, but you just have to Google and then you get the list of the websites,
Yeah.
with the
It's
answers that you're looking for.
it's in today's world. I mean, it's easy to find research, and that's what I pulled and I can forward them to you. I think I call them market reports, is what I call them. And Marcus and Millichap had posted all of these, and it was just major markets in the area and stuff like that. And I was looking at, and I've got to, before I understand it, I get, this many basins points, all that good stuff, but I need to look at a bunch of them and then just really start saying, okay, this number at this population, this is what this means, and just kind of get a little bit better feel for it.
Right. Yeah.
Because right now, I
Uh, so that
oh,
was Zaffa. I always answer the phone with Zaffa, you see.
that's all right.
Yeah.
He seems like a good guy,
He's
definitely.
amazing. Yeah. Okay, so good. Yeah, so there's plenty for us to research on that. It doesn't take too much time. The thing is building our team next, and yeah, and I use Chat GPT to figure out our name. Tried to include vision, curiosity, the Christian theme, in it. I even tried to get a wide age range, and it came
Yeah,
up with all sorts of suggestions. But I think the one I suggested, Faithful Vision, encapsulated the most of those elements that I threw into ChatGPT. Um, I did check the domain; it is available. The domain faithfulvisioncapital.com is available. So
gotcha.
and I quite like the idea of faithfulness.
I do too.
It builds trust, and then vision. You
I
know,
like it.
yeah. So and it's capital. So I
Yeah.
thought faithful vision capital. Uh,
Yeah, when you sent me that, I thought that's the one. That's a good one. I really liked it.
yeah, okay. I'm glad you did. I don't want you to just say that either.
No, I wouldn't. I would
Yeah,
tell you.
yeah,
That's not who I
yeah,
am. I promise.
yeah, yeah.
I would tell you.
Yeah, it's just I use Chat GPT, so it's a very powerful tool because you put all it's like throwing like baking a cake, isn't it? You throw all what you want in it
And it
and
comes
it'll
right
throw
out.
it out. Yeah.
It's crazy. That's something I've just started doing, and that was one of the things Ellie had asked us to do was do some research on it. And
Yeah.
I've started using it, and man, I've never used it until I've in the past week,
Mm.
and I mean it's insane. I mean
Yeah.
it's so smart. I mean it's
Here's the thing that just crossed my mind with it as well. Sometimes you think, I wonder if that's lawful or we need legal advice on that. Just ask ChatGPT because they pass the
dang,
legal exam, so we can ask them and check
that's a
without spending
great
the,
idea.
without spending money on a lawyer.
Without a $500 hour lawyer, yeah, that's a
Yeah,
great idea.
I know, yeah, but
I'm
we
gonna have
wouldn't have to totally rely on it, but it could send
right,
us down the right path, right?
and then we
Like,
could
yeah.
make sure with a lawyer. Yeah, that's a
Yeah, make sure with the lawyer. Yeah.
man.
So,
That's a good tool. It's a good tool.
hey, it is. But even saying that out loud, that crossed my mind. Is that going to put lawyers out of business?
I guess it could. I mean, the AI could put a lot of stuff out of business.
Yeah,
I mean,
right.
it really could.
Uh,
But do you keep up with the stock market?
yeah, yeah, I
I,
do.
I've been watching it. I keep up with it, not a lot, but I just do my daily check-ins and stuff. And I've
Yeah,
been reading about Japan and all that, and that's a
yeah,
mess right now. I
right.
mean,
It is.
it's a
Yeah,
hard sell. That's
yeah,
what, and I think and you can look at like real REITs and real estate investment trusts and stuff.
yeah.
They've always outperformed. Like they always keep it. They don't have as high returns, but it's a
Mm,
steady. I mean, it's a good return. And it's hard to beat real estate. I mean,
right, right.
investment wise, I believe
Yes.
that.
Oh, yes, yes. Now, just as a warning, I've been in the stock market 3 times in the past.
Yeah,
First time was in 1989, and I came in. My wife at the time, she had these shares, and I didn't know what they were. And I said, Each year I have to do all this thing with the tax." I said, "Let's just get rid of these shares." So I'd never bought or sold the shares. So I found a stockbroker. I put in the order to sell them. And I hadn't heard back from the stockbroker, you see. So I thought, I wonder if they got sold.
right.
Anyway, that was the year that on the Friday, the stock market did a massive correction.
In '87, yes.
Yeah, and I kept calling and they couldn't get anybody to answer. It was then the weekend and it was Monday. I called in and I got him on the phone and I said, did you get my stock sold?" And he said, "Yeah, you're one of the lucky ones."
Gosh, so just
It
in
was
time.
2 hours before the crash.
Two
So I'd
hours.
actually sold them right at the top.
That's perfect.
So I then thought, well, I should maybe buy them back because had this massive correction.
Yep, yep.
And so I bought them back, but that was the next time I lost a lot in the market. And then I went to stock market school and learned all about option trading and blah, 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 and then lost a whole lot more.
Yeah.
So I've not done really very well in the stock market. So,
We My father got it. Not heavy. We're not heavy in it at all. We just played small options is all we ever played.
yeah,
And I can't remember if it was my 15th or my 16th. I think it was my 16th.
yeah,
He gifted me, which it was his. I couldn't have an account. It was his account. He gave me $300
yeah.
for my birthday in an account. He said, "Here you go." And I had some rough knowledge of options, and we had been through a little online school, which it was good, and you can make money with options, but
Yeah,
it just don't do it for me. It
no,
don't. I'm with you on that. I mean,
yeah. I
maybe
lost too much.
yeah. I ended up I can't remember. I made pretty good money, and then I lost every bit of it.
Yeah,
Every bit of it. Yeah.
yeah.
So,
It's
but
that, it's that mentality that you got to be careful of. you gotta be a particular mindset when it comes to trading. Because professional traders, you'll see they'll go in and out very
Yeah.
quickly. They cut the losses very quickly
Yeah.
and
I
ride
just
the gains. Yeah, yeah.
it takes a lot of
Mm.
guts, as you know. I mean, it just takes guts, which we've got them, but not in that world. You know what I
No,
mean?
yeah, you can lose them very quickly. So
Yes.
I've had margin calls in the past as well and things like that, and that's nasty.
You didn't like margin calls?
Margin,
Yeah, margin calls.
yeah. So you owe them a lot of money. You're forced to sell so you
Oh,
can pay off the debt.
oh,
Yeah, you can lose that. You can lose your shirt on that one completely.
ooh,
Not careful.
eesh.
Yeah, because that's when there's a massive market correction, and they happen. These
Oh,
market corrections, yeah.
what do you on the general global, well, not the global, but America's market? What do you think's going to happen? I mean, I really don't know. I feel like we're in a buyer. I can't remember if that's buyer one or buyer two, but I feel like I have no clue. I really don't. I don't have any
Right
idea.
now, we've off the top in the Knoxville market. We're off the top, so we've been at the top. Now we're going to go down.
Gotcha.
Yeah,
So we're at a buyer. I can't remember if that's buyer two. I think it's buyer two.
yeah. It's just after that curve, so
So we can we
we're
need
on the way down. Yeah,
yeah.
so
So we need to focus, not focus, but we need to make, which obviously we would anyway, but we need to rely, especially from what I've learned from multifamily,
mm,
on times like in this market where we're going to be going down. We're not going to make much money on equity for a little while until it corrects, but over 5 years, that's fine. So we've got to have heavy cash flow coming into
mm,
this, and we need to really rely on our first couple deals. We need to make sure, this is my thinking, that we've got solid cash flow. That cash flow can cover it alone, not worry about equity,
yeah,
because that
yeah. That's
that
right.
way we
And
can ride it.
we've got to buy it right, absolutely. And it takes anywhere from 12 to 18 months to stabilize it, anyway.
Right.
So you're driving down, and so the occupancy getting that high is important. So we renovate quickly, get them filled, and they will fill if they're renovated nice. I mean,
Especially in our areas.
yes, there's always the demand for good units, so I don't think we have a problem there.
No, you don't think?
Um,
Well, good. That's what.
so,
And I,
so let's talk a little bit about our business structure then. We don't need to rush into that because I've got to obviously pay the 1,500, and
right.
then that's got to come before we start doing any business expenses. Because obviously we're going to set up an LLC, we're going to set up a domain name.
Yep.
I would suggest that we set up an email with the domain name. I
Yep.
mean, I like GoDaddy. I've always used GoDaddy. Are you happy with GoDaddy?
I am. I use them for the Diamondback Capital, which is like a holding company. But I
Yeah.
use them for that. I'm really happy with it. I'm
Oh,
very
good.
happy with
Yeah. Because the one thing I do like with GoDaddy is they use it's easy to build the website. They've got the templates and everything else, so it doesn't take much to build a simple website. The website really will be a really just a funnel
it. Yeah,
where people can register their interest in
best with us.
investing with us. So
Yeah.
that's kind of what I was thinking with that. And
What do
then
you? What's your opinion on a business plan? Like putting together a good, a business plan, and then all and because I think because I'm not one of my weaknesses is tech. That I'll tell you straight up. I'm not strong at all in tech. Now I want to learn and I'm willing to learn, but as I see it, tech is my weakest link.
okay, I'm
Anything with
fine
tech.
with tech. Yeah, I'm fine with tech.
And which speaking with people, meeting people, I love. I'm good at that. I enjoy that.
That's
Um, that's what I was thinking. I don't want you having to pull more weight. You know what I mean? I don't want that, and I don't. And with you, if you're doing the website, or if we're going to contract that out or whatever, however we do that, I want to make sure that I'm, doing my part too. That's why I was thinking if we can get a list of things that we need to do, to get going, and we can delegate them, what I need to do and what, your side, what
Yeah.
you need to do. That way we can bang it out. You know what I mean?
Right. Now, let me ask you this on credits. Does Diamondback Excavating, have you got a business line of credit there?
Not yet.
So when you need to buy something as a company, how are you buying it?
I have to buy it in my name.
You're buying in your personal name?
I've had to, yes. And
Mm.
which
You
then that
want to
makes,
stop doing that, all right? Because that's liability.
I agree. I totally agree. And the only reason I had to do that is because when I turned 18 in August, I didn't have any personal credit, and they weren't willing to give me business credit until I had personal credit.
I see.
So I had to
Oh,
do that, which I'm trying to get out of that as quick as I can. And my
yeah.
personal credit is growing quickly. I just don't have a lot of history. I
Right.
think it's at 700 right now, and it's growing monthly, which I've not made ever missed a payment or anything like that.
That's good.
That's terrifying to me.
Yeah.
Um,
I
and
always tell young people, once you got $1,000 in the bank, is take out a secured line of credit against that $1,000,
yeah,
and then use that credit line to buy things and pay it off with the money and
okay,
build your credit that way. That
yeah.
that gets your credit going pretty quick.
You're exactly right. Do you have any tips on getting my business credit, because it doesn't have any? And
Just
this is
apply
what
for it.
this
You
apply
could,
for it.
yeah, you should be able to get 5 or 10,000
Okay,
just off the bat, especially your age. They love to give 18-year-olds credit.
they throw it at you.
Yes, that's right.
They
Now, if you
do.
have a business as well, they'll definitely do that. And then just make sure your utilization is 10% or less by the end of each billing cycle, and that'll make your credit climb really quick.
10% or less.
So when you take out a credit line, ask them what the billing cycle is and the date,
Okay,
and you make the payments each month, the day before it expires, the billing cycle.
right.
But don't pay it all off. Do not pay it all off. Just bring it under 10% utilization.
Okay,
Always leave a little balance on there. You can leave as little as $5 if you're not, if you want.
right.
That will have the same trick. Okay, it fools the system and gives you the
No,
maximum amount of credit worthiness.
well, that's what we need to do. That's
Yeah.
very important, especially for the construction business, because,
Yeah,
like you said, when it's time to buy new assets and equipment, it needs to be in the business. I mean, that's the way it's
absolutely.
sheltered. You know,
Yeah.
'Cause
And that'll
it
help your tax bill as well, the tax write-off and everything else. So you need to get that straightened out.
definitely. I
Yeah.
agree with you. And I met with a bookkeeper. I can't remember if it was Tuesday. Yes, it was Tuesday evening. I met
Mm,
with a bookkeeper, and I spoke to her about that. And I told her, I said, "Well, this is where I'm at," and I said, "I need to be able to write this off." So I can. We figured that out. I can write off, the payments, because it comes out of the business account that pays for the equipment.
right.
So we've got that figured out. But I just need to get to the point to where they'll transfer the loan from Gunner Hudson
Mm,
over to Diamondback,
mm.
and that way that it's all just
Yeah.
Diamond.
Yeah. Very good. Now, we've only got 10 minutes left. I do want to bring something up as well that actually I might stop the recording. I'm going to pause the recording.
We'll run out of time.
Yeah, I'll record the last bit. Yeah. So
Yes.
say that again.
Um, so we'll get a plan. We'll start thinking about this. Things we need to do. I'll do it. I'll do this and you do this as well if you have time. We'll get,
Mm,
some things that we've got to knock out to get our team together. And
yeah.
that's what we'll focus on now, is getting our team,
Right.
and we'll figure out what I can do and what you can do, with my schedule and with your schedule, and
Mm,
we'll get that set, and we'll start knocking that out and roll from there.
yeah. That's a
And
good plan. Yeah.
side note, and I look forward to that. Side note, Mindy texted me this morning and invited me to I think it's a real estate get together in Knoxville
Oh,
next
very good.
Wednesday. So I'm
Okay.
gonna get.
Send me the details. Yeah.
I will. I'll get
Tomorrow to
back
be
with her.
careful.
Uh,
Yeah.
all right. Well, if I lose you before then, it's been fun, but
Yeah.
I'll definitely I'll talk to her and I'll get with you and we'll all go down there.
That'd be great.
Graham,
Fantastic. All
if
right.
you want to meet tomorrow, just shoot me a text. We can meet tomorrow.
Yeah, that'd be
Good.
great. We'll do that. All right, Gunnar. God
Thank
bless
you.
you.
See you tomorrow.
Good meeting. Bye bye.
Good to meet you as well.
All right.